Hello, hello. We have made it to Sydney, Australia, and we have made it to the start of our 14 days quarantine. We've got quite a nice hotel. It seems like it so far. I've only been here 5 minutes. It's nice, bright, white, nice marble bathroom, and thankfully we were concerned about the room situation and what that was going to be, since I'm 24 and I'm here with my parents, and I didn't know whether I wanted my own room or if it was even possible for us to get an adjoining room. But thankfully we've got an adjoining room, so I can shut them out when I want to and I can see them when I want to. So that's good, so I don't have to be fully alone for 14 days, which will be nice. But yeah, we have arrived. The flight wasn't too bad. Didn't really feel that long, honestly. I slept the majority of both flights, which was nice. And I think in my last flight I only watched 3 movies. I watched Frozen 2 finally, because I've never actually seen that, and then I watched Miss Congeniality 1 and 2, which was nice. Food was amazing, service was amazing, and I can't believe I'm back in Australia. It's crazy. Don't have much of a view. We're in the middle of the city. And also, in case you're unaware, Australia, specifically Sydney right now, is in lockdown because of COVID. They have like 200 cases right now, and the entire city of Sydney is in lockdown, and I think 4 other states are also in lockdown, which is so awesome because we thought we were leaving this behind. So I think they're in lockdown till the 9th, and we don't get out of here till like the 17th, I think. So hopefully, fingers crossed, by then they won't be in lockdown anymore, but I have a feeling it might be extended with the rate the cases are growing. So we'll have to see, but love that. Sydney, what the fuck? I thought I was leaving this behind. But yeah, don't have much of a view, but there is one really cool building that I'm across from, which I'll see if I can show you. But this is the view, nothing special. I was hoping I'd get like a sunset view or like a water view, but that was pushing it. And this is what we got. So we're in an alleyway. There's one building. Whatever that building is there is cool, with all of the trees and the not trees, but like plants on the outside. I'm going to go have a shower. Oh, we got given some stuff. So I'm not going to show you the room. We got given a little welcome package to read, some healthcare forms to read, and then some breakfast because it is currently 10 a.m. We arrived at 7, we landed at 7:20, and it's taken us from 7:20 till now to get through the airport, through all the health checks, through the screenings, and to the hotel. So it's now 10 o'clock, and we ate breakfast at like 5 a.m. on the plane, I think, so I'm hungry. So I've been given a gluten-free breakfast, so let's take a look through that. They do provide 3 meals a day. I obviously put down that I'm celiac. So let's see, we've got, I think she said that that was coconut yogurt, I think. Some banana. I have no idea what this is. Gluten-free, sounds like cereal, granola. Cornflakes. Some good old cornflakes. Some chips. Ew. Soy milk. It's fine. This whole food experience is going to be interesting, and I'm excited to document it for you all. But now I think I'm going to go have a shower, wash off the plane, wash off anything that's attached itself to me in the 24 hours of traveling, wash my hair, get into some comfy clothes, and then unpack a little bit, and then I've got a lot of editing to do. I've got so many videos to edit, so be prepared for a lot of videos while I'm in quarantine. But yeah, welcome to Sydney, Australia. I cannot believe that I'm here. Doesn't feel real. Yesterday, I'll fill you in after my shower on all the details of me leaving, because I didn't manage to capture a lot of it on my camera like I'd hoped, because it was a very stressful experience. So I'm gonna go shower and then I will fill you all in on my last few days in New Jersey and the whole getting to the airport and checking in experience that we had. We just got delivered lunch. Just had my shower. I procrastinated a little bit just because I'm like so tired. But I just had my shower. Ignore all of the spot treatment going on. Oh my god, having a shower was so nice. And then I just wanted to wash my face, and on the plane I could feel this little guy like brewing. And then when I arrived, I saw it was like coming, so I was like, right, I'm gonna get onto that like right away. And then I found, where are they? Here, a few more little ones that we're not gonna allow to turn into anything. It feels so nice to be fresh and clean and in some comfy, cozy clothes, but I am hungry. So, just got delivered lunch. Good, they've got celiac written on it. So we're off to a good start. Let's see what we've got. More chips. So far I have 4 bags of chips, 2 from breakfast. A roast beef whole meal gluten-free sandwich with roast beef, grain mustard, tomato, caramelized onion, and lettuce. Doesn't sound too bad. I've been craving some fruit. Little fruit salad. Love that. Apple juice and an apple and a mandarin. So that's not too bad. That's pretty good if you ask me. But I thought that I would just sit and chat with you guys for a little bit about my last few days and what I've been up to and the chaos that ensued our airport experience. So, hello properly. If you are new around here and you're wondering and you're confused about everything you've just seen, I'm B and I am Australian, but I've been living in New Jersey for the last 5.5 years, and me and my parents just moved back to Sydney, Australia, which is literally crazy. I'm sitting here in Sydney looking out at buildings that could honestly be anywhere, but I can't believe that it happened. Like, it's not coming anymore. It's like, it's here, it's done. I've moved. I'm officially in the 14-day quarantine, which is crazy. But if you're new, go back and watch my previous moving vlogs of us moving out of our house in New Jersey and then of us moving into our temporary apartment. We were in that temporary apartment for 2.5 months, and then on Tuesday, the 29th of June, so a few days ago, feels like a lifetime ago, we moved out of that apartment, which I did not actually end up getting any footage of. I apologize. Again, it was just a really hectic time. We had the movers coming to pack up everything that we weren't taking in our suitcases and putting it into air freight. We did also get air freight space. We moved out of our apartment on Tuesday. We packed up everything we needed in the suitcase. In the suitcases, we had 8 suitcases checked in, plus all of our carry-ons. So we had a lot of luggage. But the move out process did not go as easy and as simple as expected as everything in our life goes. The movers were supposed to be at the apartment between 8:30 and 10:30, and so we were up at 6, all ready to go, make sure everything was completely packed and cleaned and, you know, as made as easy as possible for them as we could, and they didn't show up till 11 or like 11:15, which was annoying because we had a lot of things to do on Tuesday that we ended up having to push back to Wednesday, which then you'll find out messed up a lot of things. Then we moved into a hotel for 2 nights and in Montclair, and that was actually really nice. If you're in Montclair, go and stay at the MC Hotel. It was actually really lovely. It's a new one. And yeah, so then we were in the hotel for 2 days. My brother came to stay with us for 2 days, and again, if you're new around here, we actually left my brother in America. He wanted to stay, he wanted to finish college, he's got another year of college, and then he's looking at trying to stay a little bit longer, so we had to leave him behind, which was extremely hard to do. But he stayed with us in the last 2 nights in the hotel, and we just went out for dinner and like chilled and hung out and kind of just spent some quality time with him, which was really nice. And then July 1st came, and our flight was at 6:30 p.m. from Newark, and we fly to LA, which is a 6-hour flight, and then a layover in LA like for an hour and a half, I think, and then hopped basically straight onto another plane, and then that plane from LA to Sydney is, I think it was like 14 hours 15 minutes, I think, so basically 15 hours. And yeah, so now we're in quarantine. But the check-in, the whole airport experience, so basically, if you didn't know, to get into Australia you have to not only do the 14 days of quarantine, but you have to provide a negative COVID test within 72 hours of your departure, and it has to be a PCR test. It can't be a rapid one. It has to be like the one that takes that little bit longer. So we knew that, so we were aiming to do it Tuesday, like afternoon, night, because then that would fit in with our 72 hours. And anyways, with all the delays that we had with the movers and everything else on Tuesday, we didn't end up making it in time to get that done. So we crossed our fingers and went and got it done Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. at this little pharmacy down the road that the airline recommended or suggested that we go and get it done at, which said they had a 48-hour turnaround time, but when we called them, they said you'll have your results by 10 a.m. the next day, which was great because we'd get them 10 a.m. Thursday and we leave at 6:30 p.m. Thursday. So we were like, great, that works out. So we went and we get it done, and it wasn't the swab one, and so it didn't specify whether you needed the swab or the saliva one. It just said PCR. So this place did the saliva one, so that's what we did, having this feeling that this could end up not counting and could really screw us up. Anyways, we take the test, we handed it over to them. They said, great, you should have those results back by 10 a.m. tomorrow. We were like, perfect. We went and hung out for the rest of the day with my brother, did dinner. 10 a.m., no, I think 11:30 comes by Thursday. Still haven't heard anything. So I think by 12, my parents had already been on the phone to the pharmacy, who then got us in contact with the lab that the tests were being tested through, and basically we found out that the lab didn't get the tests until 10 a.m. on Thursday, so they'd only just received our saliva basically, which was not good. So then they said, well, you'll get your results by 5 p.m. So I don't know if you can see where this is going. So we're like, okay. So then my dad called the airline and said, do we need to have that COVID test result for the first leg of the flight, so from Newark to LA, because it's only for Australia who wants it. America didn't want it, didn't need it, so it was only for getting into Sydney. And so that would have been for the LA to Sydney flight, which was the second flight. And we called the airline and we asked, there's a chance we might not have these test results in time. And they told us on the phone, you don't worry about it, you don't need them for the first flight, but you have to have the results in and uploaded on the app by the second flight. So we're like, okay, perfect, that's fine, we should absolutely have them by then. Hopefully they'll come in while we're on our first flight if we don't have them by 5 p.m. So we have to check out of our hotel at 2:30, I think. So we had a car pick us up at 2:30 with our enormous amount of luggage. We say goodbye to my brother, so many tears, the most heartbreaking goodbye I've ever had to experience. We were all an absolute freaking mess. I was not okay. So we get to the airport around 3. We could check in then, and the check-in, you're able to check in until 5:30, and our flight's at 6:30. We go to check in. First of all, we have so many bags. A porter comes out to help us, and he loads up all the bags on this cart, and he goes, right, where do you need to check in? And we said, United, Business, Premier, and we asked a woman, she was like, you need to go downstairs. So we're like, okay. So the guy like wheeled all of our bags into the elevator downstairs, and then was about to dump them all on the floor and like leave us there. And my dad goes, hang on, no, I think Premier check-in's upstairs. And so he asked someone else, and the guy was like, no, like you can do it here. And then he's like, no, I don't think this is right. And so he asks another woman, she goes, no, what are you doing down here? Premier access is upstairs. So the poor guy had to wheel all of our bags back upstairs, and we finally get into the right lines, and it's packed, by the way, because it's American, everyone's traveling like there's no pandemic. So it's packed, and all of the because it's all self check-in now, which is just so frustrating because it never works. All of the machines weren't working, so people have been standing at the front of the line for 30 minutes waiting for somebody to come over and help them because they couldn't go any further, the screen wouldn't let them. So we're standing there with like 15 pieces of like luggage, people going, oh shit, and not lining up behind us because they know we're going to take forever. And basically we finally get up to the front. My dad manages to get someone to come up next to him, and she gets halfway through checking him in. She goes, your COVID test? And he goes, well, we've taken it, but we haven't got the results back yet, but they said we'll have them by 5. And she was like, well, you can't check in without them. And he was like, but they told me I could, and I only needed them for the second flight. She was like, no, you can't check in without them. So of course we're like, great. And at this stage it's already like 4 o'clock, and so we were like, shit. Okay, so we somehow managed to wheel all of our bags out of the way and off to the side. Mum and I ran downstairs to the testing center that was downstairs to see if we could get a rapid test, so at least we had something to get on the flight, and then hopefully by the second flight our new ones would have come through. But the woman at the testing site said that, first of all, they were $250 for a rapid test each, and they still wouldn't be back in time for us to check in. So we were like, okay, forget about it. Let's just go upstairs, sit by our bags by the check-in, and just pray to God that these results come in time. And so we're sitting there waiting. I said, Dad, you need to call the place. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, we're not going to get them at this rate. So he calls the lab. My mum's on the phone with the pharmacy who sent them, and the woman at the lab said, well, there's no record of your names or your tests being here. And he was like, what do you mean? The woman found them this morning when I called. And she was like, okay, like, I don't know what to do. Like, all of the like the people who do the results in the lab had gone home because it was like 4:30 at this point. She was like, they've all gone home, I don't know what to do. And he was like, well, I need them. I'm about to lose like $45,000 in like flights. I need those tests in the next like 15 to 20 minutes or I'm screwed. We're all screwed. And so she's probably so panicked. She manages obviously to find somebody to help her look for them. The pharmacist is talking to them, their manager, going, no, these people need their results like now, blah, 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 blah. And anyways, thank the heavens, about 20 minutes later, she goes, right, we found them, you know, they've done them, I'm sending them through now. So we got the emails, we screenshotted them, uploaded them into the app. They got verified like that, thank God. And then we were able to check in at like 5, and I think check-in either closed at 5:15 or 5:30, I'm not sure, but basically we just made it in time. And basically we didn't have any time to grab something to eat beforehand. We basically had to run to our gate for boarding. That started boarding at like 5:45, I think. And we basically hopped straight on the plane, and yeah, that was 6 hours. I slept most of the way, and then that was delayed getting out because there was a storm in New Jersey, so we were, I think, an hour late, but they made up the time in the air, and so we ended up only being half an hour late. But then with our tiny amount of layover in LA, that caused problems because when we arrived into LA, there was already a plane in our gate that occupied our gate, so we couldn't go in, so we had to wait 15 to 20 minutes for them, and then we ended up having to go to another gate, but again ended up having to wait another 10 minutes to get into that one. And so by the time we got into the gate and then we were finally let off the plane, we literally had to run. Thankfully it was only like 6 gates down, but we had to run to our gate for the LA to Sydney flight, and we were like the 3rd last people on the plane, I think, so we hopped straight on there. But the good thing with the LA to Sydney flight is that with the cap that Australia has on the amount of people that can come into the country each week, the flights only have 30 people on them, which was awesome. And we were lucky enough to be flying business on this trip, as my dad's company was paying for it. So there was only like 12 people in business class, I think, and then the rest were all in economy, and so there was only like 20 something people in economy, which was crazy. I loved having an empty flight. It was really lovely. And then yeah, we landed, and then you have to wait on the plane for a while before the plane that came over before you has completely cleared the entire airport. Then you finally get off and you have to go through several health screenings, like temperature, a bunch of questions. Before you got on the flight, you had to fill out a whole health declaration, and then immigration, baggage claim. Then you have to wait for the buses to arrive, then you get put on a bus, and then that's when you get told where you're going, like what hotel you're going to be in. And then because we were the only family on the bus that we were on, we got to get off first and check in, and they gave us an adjoining room, which was awesome, which is what we were hoping for but didn't think we'd get, so that's good. And so yeah, that's been the last few days. It's been crazy, so I'm sorry I didn't manage to capture everything, but I hope that what I did capture was interesting. I think I'm gonna end this vlog here. I hope you enjoyed the travel content. I wish I was able to capture more, but with the amount of bags I had, it was kind of difficult to hold my camera at the same time. But yeah, I love you guys so much. Thank you for following me along on this crazy move and journey, and I'm really anxious but excited to see where this next chapter takes me and what we get up to, and I'm excited to show you all around Sydney and Australia when I get out of here, because I know a lot of my friends in America watch these, so I'm excited to show you around. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up and to hit that subscribe button, and while you're at it, turn those post notifications on so you can catch up with all of my quarantine vlog content. Yeah, I'm in Australia. Love you guys. See you next time. Bye.